Hey guys, welcome to my brand new channel Palette Reviews by Antariksha, and welcome to today's video. I'm so happy that you guys are here. If you are coming from my main channel, then thank you so much for subscribing to this channel as well. If you haven't done that, then please go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're a palette lover, and also ring that notification bell. It is very important. And if you're here, then I'm sure you are also a palette lover like I am. So we're going to talk about all kind of palettes, new palettes. A lot of new releases are coming, and I have a lot of new palettes in my collection as well, which I'm going to review on this channel. Today we are going to talk about not so new palette. This is the ABH Sultry Palette, and I'll let you guys know why I decided to do this video. So without much further ado, let's quickly get started with today's video. So let's get started with today's video. Today we are going to talk about the ABH Sultry Palette, and I'm going to show you the swatches on my skin tone as well as two looks which I have done with this palette. I have actually done a lot of looks with this palette, but I have filmed two. The reason why I'm doing this video is because of this palette. I will put it on the screen as well. The Natasha Denona Glam Palette. It looks so beautiful, and this palette has been going on, and I am just thinking about this palette in my mind a lot. So this video is kind of convincing myself not to buy this palette because it's such a beautiful, I will put up a picture here, cool toned palette, and I love cool tone shadows a lot, and I use them a lot. You have seen me in a lot of cool tone eye looks, and I just can't seem to get this palette out of my head. It's so beautiful. There are a lot of shades which I think are quite similar to the ABH Sultry Palette which I have right here, but not all the shades are similar, and Natasha Denona has some interesting chroma crystal formula which has that shift, duochrome shift. So I feel like some of the shadows will be a little bit different, little bit interesting, but still I don't want to buy the Natasha Denona Glam Palette, and I want to be happy with the ABH Sultry Palette. Now if I get the Glam Palette, I will definitely do a comparison of the Sultry Palette with the Glam Palette, but for now I have convinced myself not to get it and try to create two looks which you can create using the Glam Palette as well as the ABH Sultry Palette. So that's the basis of this video. Let's talk about the Sultry Palette. This one launched when? I think last year, I want to say. I am not too sure though. I think it was last year around the holidays, and it was one of the holiday releases, I think. Beautiful packaging. It's so gorgeous, and the glitter doesn't really come off. Both the palette as well as the cover, they have the same packaging, and of course you guys know me, I keep all of my eyeshadow palette covers, so I do have both of them. Now this palette was a limited edition palette, but I think it's still available. I haven't seen it on the Sephora Singapore website, but it is available on a lot of other websites, especially on Beauty Bay and Cult Beauty. This one is still available if you want to get it. This one is also a cool toned palette. Let me take out the brush because it is going to fall, I know. This is how the palette looks like. It's a really nice palette. There is a warm tone palette as well, which is called the ABH Soft Glam Palette, which is obviously more warm toned, a little bit more friendlier on Indian skin tone, I would say, but I was immediately attracted towards this cool toned neutral palette, and I don't have a lot of these cool tone neutral palettes, so I went for it. There are 14 shadows in this palette as standard Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, and there are, how many mattes are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 mattes and 7 shimmers or metallic finish shadows. I also want to let you know how much product you will get. So you will get 0.83 grams in each pan, and this palette retails for about $65 to $75, $80 depending on where you are buying it from. I have seen a range of price for this shadow palette, so yeah, just keep in mind, see where you get the best deal and just go for it. Okay, before I proceed with the shadows, I just want to mention that this box, this ABH box, in all of their eyeshadow palettes, they are amazing. I love how detailed their box is. Like, they have all of the information right here, whatever you want to know, ingredients and weight, like all of the things are mentioned right here. That's not the case with many of the eyeshadow palettes I have. And they also have a very convenient sort of a hinge or a cutting in the cover right here, which makes it very easy to open this eyeshadow palette. The ABH eyeshadow palette boxes are one of the easiest boxes to open. I know these are two very small things, but they are really big things for me. I think that's very convenient what they have done here. That was about the box. Let's move on to the actual palette right now. So you get a brush inside here, which actually I really like, both the blending side and the flat side. They are very useful. You can actually do an entire look with just this both sides or these two brushes. Earlier the brushes weren't that good, but I think they have done something. They have changed the softness is a little bit different now. So I do really like these brushes which the ABH palettes have. This is how the palette looks like. I've already shown it to you once. I'll definitely give you close-ups as well. Before we move on and I share my thoughts on this palette, let me quickly show you the swatches. Okay. So here is a close-up of the palette. And here are the swatches of the first row. You can see a creamy color, which is very good for highlighting underneath the brow bones. And there is a beige sort of a color here as well, which is good for blending out the eyeshadows. It matches my skin tone quite a lot. And I love these three colors. These are so good, very smooth. And there is a bright silvery shade in the first row as well. And here is the second row of the palette. Beautiful shimmer shades in this row. Love these two shimmers, very pretty. This one is a little bit chunky. You have to smooth it out a bit, but once you smooth it out, it's so beautiful. And there is a silver in this row as well. The silver is a little less brighter than the one in the first row, and I have done a look with this silver, which you can see in this video. So that's the second row. Okay, so those are the swatches. You could see that the palette is pretty much on the cool tone neutral side. If you are a neutral palette lover, you are going to love this palette. There are a lot of positives with this palette. A lot of looks are possible, and all of the looks are going to be very wearable. That's a big plus for this palette. If you invest in this, then you can definitely use it quite a lot and get your money's worth. There are a few things which I would like to mention about the palette. Nothing major. I didn't face too many issues with this palette, so that's a great point. Talking about the matte shadows first, if you are not familiar with Anastasia Beverly Hills matte shadows, then they are a little bit powdery and they do have fallout. They do kick up shadows in the pan. But with this palette, that is quite minimal. I didn't face too much fallout as I used to face with the ABH, say the Modern Renaissance palette. They have definitely improved their formulation in that respect. There is definitely fallout, but still it's not that much, so that's a good thing. If you consider the matte shadows, all the mattes are definitely cooler, cool tone matte. There is just one shade, this one, which is that ochre kind of a shade, which is slightly warm, or I would say slightly neutral, more neutral. Pretty much all the mattes are cool tones. So if you are someone like me, you would like to bring some more warmth to the eye look. So for that, I usually use most of the time I use this one with this palette, the Viseart Neutral Matte palette. This goes amazingly well with this palette, especially this mid-tone brown shades. I need these mid-tone browns for my eye look, especially the eye look which I have done today as well. For that, I have used these two browns and the beigey brown tones. These kind of mid-tone brown shades are not available in this palette. So you'll definitely, if you're someone like me who wants those colors in the eye look, then you'll have to use some other palette. Other than that, all the matte shades, I think quality wise, they're great. They blend effortlessly, they build amazingly well. There is a lot of depth in the matte shades, which is a good thing. Sometimes that's what I complain about the most, that the palette doesn't have enough depth. This one does, because it has a beautiful, very intense black. This is their shade Noir, which is very popular ABH black shade, which is there in the palette. You can use it as a liner as well. You can use it to intensify your shadows, so that's great. There's a deep cool tone brown as well. So a very good basic neutral eye is also possible, and very glamorous eye makeup is also possible with this look. So today, as you can see, I have used this palette only and just a couple of shades from the neutral matte palette. Apart from that, there are 2 matte shades which I don't really use that much. So out of the 7 shades, there are 2 shades which I don't use that much. Twig and Slate, they are very greyish tone, and I just don't use those kind of tones that much. So probably if you're close to my skin tone, you're going to do the same. I really like the other 5 matte shades which are in here. I also really like this coral pink shade which is in here. I think it, you know, makes the look a little bit more colorful. It brings in a little bit more warmth, so I think that's great. A lot of people didn't like the addition of this color in this palette. I actually do really appreciate this color in this palette. It makes the look a little bit more feminine. And apart from that, no other issues with the matte shades. I think they are great quality. For the shimmers, they are amazing, absolutely gorgeous metallic shimmer finish shadows. The ABH shimmers, they are super foiled and very intense, and all of the shimmers are like that. There are 4 shimmers which I absolutely love: Cinder, Teak, Ember and Rose Quartz. I think these are the 4 shades. They are my favorite. They look really pretty on the eyes. Today I have used Cinder as well as Ember, so you will see that in the look which I'm going to show you. Apart from that, I really like this silver as well, although I am not too much into silver eyeshadows. I'm going to show you a look with silver and black and how you can create a silver look, and that actually looks really nice. And apart from that, what do I want to mention? Super foil metallic shadows, as I already mentioned. They work great with brushes as well. This eye look which I have done today, I haven't used my fingers at all. So I have used them with brushes. They are very soft, they are very pigmented. The brush pickup is very good. If you want them to be super foil, just use some Fix Plus. Today I haven't used any kind of Fix Plus, but without Fix Plus also they work great. So you can work with this entire palette just using brushes. No need to use fingers if you don't want to, but of course for more intensity, use your fingers. You'll get a more foiled look. So I actually really like this palette. It's one of my favorite neutral palettes. I have traveled with this a lot, and this is a very nice complementary palette as well, since I have a lot of colorful palettes. So that's all for the review. Let's go into the 2 eye looks. The first look will be this one, and after that I will be showing you a silver and black bold eye look. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you found this video helpful. I have some more older palettes on which I want to do videos, so you will see some more older eyeshadow palettes cropping up on your feed if you are subscribed to this channel. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and of course definitely do consider subscribing. If you love palettes, palette reviews, tutorials, then please do so. And thank you so much for watching today. I will see you again really soon in my next video. Bye.